I heard that the government is planning to open the POGOs.
I'll ask you this: are POGOs BPOs?
No, I don't consider them BPOs. Number one, they're not. I don't consider them BPOs. Number two, the activity is technically illegal. That's why they're here in the Philippines, because they're not allowed to operate in China. So their activity initially is already illegal, and there's a lot of illegal activities that surround auxiliary, supplementary activities that surround the POGOs, from prostitution to kidnapping to gambling. There's just so much wrong with that industry. They add no value to our country and our economy. Before POGOs were even allowed in the Philippines, we were doing well as an economy. Now, because of the POGOs, it's actually disrupting our value system. And that's where the problem lies. And now they're planning to open it. And I think it's going to endanger a lot of people for the sake of a few. And it's not even Filipinos. And for me, that's a major point that I have is, you're already trying to protect the Filipinos from this virus, and yet you're allowing this industry to open unabated. And they don't even pay taxes. You know, I checked, and I'm not sure if it's true, but it sounds like it's true. They owe like 50 billion in taxes. And all the BIR commissioner said is, well, we sent them a demand letter and they're ignoring us. Of course, they're ignoring you. Because they're not afraid of you, because they have a very, very powerful sponsor somewhere in Malacanang. But I'll leave it at that. Okay, not going to get political, but I'll say that.
Well, I mean, apparently they part of their, I don't know how true it is, but part of their, they give a percentage to PAGCOR, and PAGCOR will supposedly take care of, helping the Philippines, which is supposed to. And then they employ, I think 40%, 30% Pinoy, something like that. Not majority. It's very small. It's sana naman majority, like BPOs, diba? BPO 100%. Ito hindi.
Please, I don't even think it's 30 or 40%, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Okay.
All you have to do is go into one of the offices. Count. Yeah. Seriously. Eyeball lang, not even 30%. Please, don't even go there. Yeah. So,
according to that sponsor that you were referring to, that they give a lot of money to the Philippines. Again, I honestly, because if you think about them as BPOs, which is what Roque said, it's because they're the offshore nature of the industry, and the tech component of it. But it stops there.
And not only that, alam mo, even when you look at the guidelines for the GCQ, it states that gambling and betting activities will remain closed, and POGOs are considered gambling.
Yeah. And so is there a loop? Is there a loophole there, that they are offshore and that they are not casino where a lot of people are gathered together? Is that the loophole that they?
I'm sure that's the loophole they're using right now. And honestly, I really believe that the only reason POGOs are open because and come on, I'm sure this is an open secret. When you talk about POGOs and any gambling activities, there's a lot of under the table money being given to individuals. A lot. And I'm talking hundreds of millions to billions. These are these are massive industries, and they don't want it shut down. And a lot of the people that are trying to get them to open up are people that need their own, they want to get their take, they want to take their money, and that's why they're pushing for this. And that's the unfortunate thing. I really hope and wish that there will come a day where sana talaga that most of our politicians will really look after their constituents, the Filipinos, and not just look at their pocket and their bottom line, But that's me.
Yeah. Again, I can't say for sure that the POGOs are not affecting the Philippines in a positive way. I don't know for sure. Like they could not be. But again, the reputation of the POGOs, the reputation of the whole thing, because it's association with China, and the whole thing with the Philippines and the islands and all of that stuff, it has a negative connotation already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Psychologically, like you think already, even before you know whether or not it does help the Philippine economy or not, right? I can't say 100% sure one way or the other. But right off the bat, when you hear Pogo, you think China, you think the islands, you think them
The
taking
military
advantage of the
bases,
Philip.
the
Yeah,
rumored
you think
the rumored soldiers that are actually inside the Pogos.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you think of all the negative stuff. So automatically, it has a negative
Yeah. Let,
vibe to it right away before any hard facts. At least to me, I could be wrong with that.
yeah. And that's very valid, Gino. But for me, taking all of that out, take all of that out. There are benefits to Pogos. Number one, it adds money circulating in the country. Right.
Mhm.
Now a lot of restaurants are 24/7. So that adds revenue to all these restaurants and places that are required to service all of these new people with money who need to spend it.
Yeah.
The rental prices are shooting up now,
So crazy. Yeah.
and I actually think that's a bad thing, because now locals can't even afford to buy or rent some of these places because the prices are so high, and landlords are
That's pre-lockdown, pre-lockdown. Because
pre-lockdown. Yeah.
Pre-lockdown.
And the scary part about that is that now you have all these Filipinos that are displaced because they can't afford to buy these things anymore or rent them because the landlords have no choice but to give it to the highest bidder.
Yeah, I think, but those are only in certain areas. I think in MOA, I know a friend of mine in MOA who has a studio apartment that he rents out for a crazy amount. I think like 80,000 pesos a month or something ridiculous. Dude, it's insane how much he rents it out for. I'm like, what? And how many square meters is it? It's like 40 square meters, and he rents it
What?
out for that much. Yeah.
And now, my question, and how many people are in that 40 square meter unit?
I think four. I think four people live there.
That's crazy.
So it's kind of nuts when you think about it that way. But of course, it's not the same way like in Rockwell, in Wakwak or whatever. It's in BGC. It's the prices are still high for what they are for Philippine standards, but it's not the astronomical prices in certain areas where there's Pogos, or that there's a big Chinese community that's here for work.
Yeah, and now I want to add, that although I think that there are some benefits to Pogos, I think the negative effects outweigh the benefits. That's all I'm saying. Because if you think about it, like I said earlier, without the Pogos, the Philippine economy was already very strong. We were already a very strong, resilient economy that even when other countries were suffering a slight recession, we were still moving up. But on the flip side, I want to also say that I do have some friends that are from mainland China who I've worked with, who are responsible operators and citizens, and they're just doing their job and they follow the law. And I have no beef. I have no beef with. I think it's not about the citizens of China, because I think they're also just trying to earn. But I think there are some really bad elements, and including the way the Chinese government handles this and how they're throwing this at the Philippines, because technically it's not allowed, and yet they're kind of like turning a blind eye on it, because probably they also want the Pogos to exist because it helps them. It's an underground economy that's really also helping China.
I think they officially state that they don't want the Pogos around, but maybe they secretly want it.
I think
but they
do.
just can't have, right? So
Because
I
if they really didn't want it, they could easily tell this government, don't allow them.
Yeah, they could easily just shut it down. Yeah. So I think their statement to the public is, we don't want it, because that's why it's illegal, right? That's why it doesn't serve them.
Yeah.
But they secretly like it. They secretly
hell yeah.
want it, right? So I don't know. Again, it's all speculation, but it just seems that way.
Yep. I agree on that.
But that's it, right? Remember in Macau, right? Like how many, like Macau was earning so much more money in terms of gambling than Las Vegas.
Yes.
The amount of money that was circulating in Macau through gambling, and that was all from China.
Yep.
Because they were right? So, and then they found a way. Instead of physically being there, they found a way to do it through tech, through going online, and then that's the POGOs.
And
So
if you thought that Macau was a big industry, imagine how massive POGOs are.
yeah, limitless na. Because in Macau, you physically have to be there, right?
Yeah. And there's a
Because
limitation of the money you can bring in. So there's a lot of transactions that makes it difficult to bring the money. And yet they were able to bring in millions pa. Imagine now it's a free for all. Oh my God, this thing is huge.
So having said that, if it's regulated properly, right? If it's regulated in the right way, if it's done in the right way, POGOs could actually be more beneficial than they have been. You know what I mean?
If
It's
it was really regulated and taxed.
yeah. That's why. So that's my another. I guess the if it was done in a way that was really more beneficial for everyone, it could be a way to, I guess, to be more beneficial than it is.
Yeah. So I agree with that. It's like imagine because when the POGOs are working, they're basically there's a lot of money coming from China going to the Philippines. But the problem is it's not staying here because they're not taxed properly, because they're not assessed properly, and all of those things. But if they were, 50 billion is peanuts. I bet you the Philippines would be able to generate several hundred billions from taxes from the POGOs easily. Easily. So that's why I'm a little bit skeptical about the what's happening right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's in a perfect world, the POGOs if this was a perfect world we live in, the POGOs would be making us so much money. But we don't live in a perfect world.
Right. Not even close, right? So